a bureaucrat is a member of a bureaucracy. Although the term is usually affiliated with being a member of the government, but it can also refer to a member of a large company who conducts things according to the exact rules or policies of that company. In a government role, a bureaucrat is a public servant structurally devoted to carrying out administrative policy. Bureaucrats have been described as mechanic, because they do things according to a routine and don't let their intellectual judgment interfere. History. The term bureaucrat was first used in print during the French Revolution by the journalist Fouillou in the Paris Dutch Sun in 1791, writing that the object most deserving of his disgust was the bureaucrat, harbinger of a new mode of servitude, a unregistered trademark. The job of a bureaucrat has been around for many generations, from ancient China, the Roman Empire, the Church, the Ottoman Empire to the kingdoms of Europe. Bureaucrats in the United States originated when the 13 colonies became a country and got tired of the tyrannical British executive power. The 13 colonies became united and had systemic changes in long-established political and institutional arrangements which first had to be negotiated in order to begin to accommodate national administrative capacities to the American people. At the First Continental Congress of 1775, the base of American bureaucrats, their purpose, started to develop. Their goal at the time was to break away from British administrative power and to have their own administration institutions. Washington, Hamilton, Jefferson and many others dealt with most of the administrative problems that presidents and department heads face today. The efforts of public officials and organized political groups to enhance popular control of government inadvertently planted the seeds of modern bureaucratic powers. Early American bureaucrats had to follow the president's ideals of administrative duties and authorities to the country. Presidents like Adams and Jefferson assigned bureaucratic spots for the people who had their same political belief system. Then during the Andrew Jackson era he passed the patronage system for bureaucrats and getting hired. Bureaucrats would have the job based on their alliance with President Jackson as opposed to their skills as a bureaucrat. This led to popular resentment of the emerging administrative independence, specifically of the social privilege associated with agency staffing and the corruption that were byproducts of this independence. President James Garfield did not agree with the patronage system because bureaucrats weren't getting assigned for their skills or experience. Garfield's ideals led to his assassination by Charles Guiteau for not receiving a position as a bureaucrat, which resulted in the Pendleton Act that replaced the patronage system in assigning bureaucrats. The Industrial Revolution and the expansion of the country to the west caused more need of bureaucrats on the job. The biggest shift for bureaucrats was during Franklin Roosevelt's presidency when he enacted the New Deal that brought more bureaucratic jobs in the United States because of bigger government. Then when the United States entered World War II, high demands of the war needed even more agencies and bureaucrats. After the war, the number of bureaucrats decreased but still remained at a higher level than when it first initiated in the United States. The number of bureaucrats working have not increased after the war and remain around the same numbers today in the 21st century, but the influence of bureaucrats has increased much higher after Franklin Roosevelt's presidency and are recognized as an important part of American government. Importance in society. Some Americans today would argue that bureaucrats are not important in society and theory unregistered trademark no need for them. However, we deal with bureaucratic settings on a daily basis, such as in schools, hospitals, and our government. Bureaucrats play a vital role in today's unregistered trademark society, but there are many misunderstandings of a bureaucrat. Some may think bureaucrats deal with people, but not necessarily directly. They deal more with cases, to carry out the many decisions made by government. Bureaucrats put government policy into motion and as a result, the federal bureaucracy has a large impact on policy making. One of the roles of the bureaucracy is to make rules that control how laws are executed. These bureaucrats hold several administrative positions, some of which are positions in government, managers of a department, and supervisors. These bureaucrats are very knowledgeable in their society and aim at control and efficiency. They are trained to rely solely on facts. They do not let their personal beliefs interfere with business. Bureaucrats are very important. They may influence policies and choose actions that benefit our society. We need bureaucrats to shape and inform the public. We all have rules to abide by, that require the development of structure and organizational expectations. An example of a vital role in society would be governor policy and laws. Different types of bureaucrat. Bureaucrats can be split into different categories based on the system, nationality, and time they come from. 1. Classical bureaucrat: someone who starts at a low level of some kind of public work for the government, and has no opinion of their own, purely following guidelines and very slowly gaining increasing ranks within the system. This person is not interested in anything other than getting along his or her life. There is no party affiliation or personal opinion about the work you do. Tax collectors, government accountants, police officers, firefighters, and military personnel are all considered bureaucrats. This type of civil or business servant is very important when it first becomes necessary. 2. Chinese bureaucrat, also called a Euro Mandarin, a euro which was given to them by the Portuguese in a letter written from a Portuguese prisoner in China in 1525. Mandarins were used for about 1,300 years from 605 to 1905. Most high-ranking officials were given to nobility and family members. The Zhou Dynasty is the earliest recording of Chinese bureaucrats. There was a 9-rank system, each rank having more power than the lower rank. This type of bureaucrat went on until the Qing dynasty. These mandarins worked for the various emperors, a Euro unregistered trademark government. After 1905, the mandarins were replaced by modern civil servants. In 1921, the Communist Party took over China, and in theory all people are bureaucrats and work for the government, but Mao Zedong, in office 1945 to 1976, ruled with unofficial of a standing army. American bureaucrat. 3. American bureaucrats are different than other types of bureaucrats because they are based in a democratic country. This creates some unique opportunities. While a bureaucrat is not supposed to fall on party lines, in the USA they usually do. At different points in history, different political parties have waged entire campaigns against bureaucracy, usually due to protect capitalism and the free market. Due to the use of Euro unregistered trademark's enormous impact on the global economy after the Industrial Revolution, these bureaucrats are some of the most important in the world. It is normally the Democratic Party supporting it. Notable presidents who made vast advancements in bureaucracy, and of course created a higher demand for bureaucrats, are Woodrow Wilson, the father of American bureaucrats, Franklin Roosevelt, who had to regulate business a Euro unregistered trademark to an unprecedented level due to the Great Depression caused by the failure of capitalism, and all Democratic presidents have followed along this trend of governing ever since. Other notable presidents who increased bureaucracy are John F. Kennedy, 1961 to 1963, for increasing civil rights, Jimmy Carter, in office 1976 to 1989, who made sweeping reforms increasing regulation to protect the environment, Bill Clinton, in office 1992 to 2000, for creating affirmative action to increase equity in different places of work. Finally, Barack Obama, in office 2008 current, greatly increased the number of bureaucratic jobs with his Affordable Health Care for America Act, which was passed in 2009, which caused the government to regulate health care. A major opponent of this style of government was President Ronald Reagan, who believed in the government deregulating everything related to the economy in favor of corporations and large business, a Euro unregistered trademark. In the USA, it is illegal for a bureaucrat to choose political party while on duty. 4. European bureaucrat, originally referred to as a Euro Mandarin, a Euro stemming from the Chinese word for government employee. Bureaucracy didn't a Euro unregistered trademark catch on in Europe very much due to the many different governments in the region, and constant change and advancement, and relative freedom of the upper class. In 1958, though, after the formation of the European Union, the job of the bureaucrat became extremely important to help organize and govern such a large and diverse community. In 1961, the term Eurocrat was coined by Richard Main, a journalist at the time. A Eurocrat is a bureaucrat of the European Union. 5. Modern bureaucrats gained increasingly negative reputations throughout the second half of the 20th century. As populations grow, it becomes harder for bureaucratic systems to work because it often involves a lot of paperwork, which increases processing times, which eventually will be nearly impossible to manage. The digital age and the Internet has revolutionized bureaucrats, and the modern bureaucrat is a different skill set than before. Also, the Internet lowers the corruption levels of some bureaucratic entities such as the police force due to social media and pro-on journalism. Notable bureaucrats and bureaucratic philosophers. German sociologist Max Weber defined a bureaucratic official as the following: he is personally free and appointed to his position on the basis of conduct. He exercises the authority delegated to him in accordance with impersonal rules, and his loyalty is enlisted on behalf of the faithful execution of his official duties. His appointment and job placement are dependent upon his technical qualifications. His administrative work is a full-time occupation. His work is rewarded by a regular salary and prospects of advancement in a lifetime career. He must exercise his judgment and his skills, but his duty is to place these at the service of a higher authority. Ultimately, he is responsible only for the impartial execution of assigned tasks and must sacrifice his personal judgment if it runs counter to his official duties. Bureaucratic control is the use of rules, regulations, and formal authority to guide performance. It includes such things as budgets, statistical reports, and performance appraisals to regulate behavior and results. As an academic, Woodrow Wilson, U.S. President, professed, Franz Kafka, philosopher-author, Franklin D. Roosevelt, Hugh S. Johnson, director of the NRA, Harry Hopkins, Lloyd K. Garrison, first chair of the National Labor Relations Board, Thurman Arnold, Assistant Attorney General. The arts related to bureaucrat, Bartleby, The Scrivener, Bartleby, Brazil, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Hermes Conrad, Ikiru, The Trial, The Memorandum, see also, Apparatchik, Civil Servant, Mandarin, Nomenclatura, References, Nelson, M. A. Short, Ironic History of American National Bureaucracy. Journal of Politics, 44, 3, 747. Nelson, M. A. Short, Ironic History of American National Bureaucracy. Journal of Politics, 44, 3, 747. Nelson, M. A. Short, Ironic History of American National Bureaucracy. Journal of Politics, 44, 3, 747. Nelson, M. A. Short, Ironic History of American National Bureaucracy. Journal of Politics, 44, 3, 747. Max Weber. Wirtschaftsgesellschaft ppA 650 €78 Woodrow Wilson. The Study of Administration 2. Political Science Quarterly ppA 197 €222. Retrieved March 25, 2008. Further reading, Haas, Richard N. The Bureaucratic Entrepreneur, How to Be Effective in Any Unruly Organization. Washington, D.C., Brookings Institution. ISBN 0815733534. Goodsell, Charles T. The Case for Bureaucracy, A Public Administration Polemic. Washington, D.C., CQ Press. ISBN A15868029071. Hummel, Ralph P. The Bureaucratic Experience, The Postmodern Challenge. Armonk, New York, M. E. Sharp. ISBN A9780765610102. External links, John Kilcullen, MQ.edu. Lecturia Euro Max Weber, on Bureaucracy, Ludwig von Mises, Mises.org, Bureaucracy.